Welcome to the Big Biz Show, featuring insight, analysis, and a lot of stuff that's none of your business.
Hold on. This is the Big Biz Show. I think it is their business.
Making the markets work for you. Here's the man with the plan, Sully.
Hey there, live from the Loft 100 studios in sunny San Diego, California. Big Biz Show's on the air, 110 million TV homes strong, 150 radio stations in 175 countries, thanks to American Forces Radio Network, BizTV, American Life Network, as well as Biz Talk Radio Network. Let's not forget, we're also on the interweb, boys.
Nice.
iHeartRadio. Costa here, producer Greg Todoroff there, Sully here, the day trader Quattro will be here in just a minute. In the meantime, Eric Dresselhuys, one of our favorite guests, who is the CEO of ESS Inc., whose stock symbol is GWH. So I'm going to refer to them as GWH so we don't have any confusion on their stock symbol. You can certainly go to essinc.com. But we saw a media piece here that I want to share with you before we get Eric on, because this is pretty significant stuff.
Well, I just wanted to welcome Senator Wyden and our other distinguished guests to ESS here in Wilsonville, Oregon. We, about a year ago, were here at the office celebrating the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act. So it's, I think, appropriate that we're back a year later to celebrate the really dramatic impact that it's had on the energy landscape and the energy transition here in the United States and really around the world. The changes have been positive, not just around the decarbonization of our energy system and improving the environmental impact that energy has, but around job creation and economic development, and really improving the energy security of the United States.
Oregon and this company are really exhibit A of what I sought to do when I wrote the Clean Energy for America Act. What we wanted to do was reduce carbon, promote innovation, and create more high-skill, high-wage jobs.
We want to make sure we tell everybody that we're hiring.
I hope all you news media people heard those two words. We're hiring.
When I brought the Senate Finance Committee together, and I've chaired the committee, and I said, you know, we've had gridlock on climate for 40 years. And our proposal to use clean energy tax credits is the approach that I think can finally liberate us and get serious about tackling climate change. We predicted at the time, this is what was scored, about $370 billion worth of private investment in clean energy. Now there are experts and financial authorities estimating that it could be well over twice that, because the private sector is discovering what we in Oregon saw a long time ago and what I sought to do in this law. And that is, if you use a straightforward approach that is understandable and linear, like the clean energy tax credits I wrote, you're going to trigger an enormous amount of private sector innovation.
You know, ESS is that perfect example, and it's the culmination, Senator, thank you, of all the work that you've done. So we've seen here so much today, that the IRA is helping to drive real progress. Why is the IRA important, just at the most fundamental level, and how is it driving change?
We compete in a global world, right? So when you look at this isn't about me competing against somebody across the street. We're competing against companies in Asia, China, in Europe. And the IRA has really helped lay a path for us to compete at a global level.
The Department of Energy is very excited about all the great work that the IRA has led to, especially here in Oregon with ESS. The IRA has made a huge impact in driving the innovation that we're seeing here that we saw today. High-paying jobs here in Oregon in looking at automation for the energy solutions that you all are providing. And the cornerstone legislation that came through with the Senator's hard work has been very important in driving a lot of the innovation that we're pursuing out of the Department of Energy with our national laboratories and in connection with what's going on here in Oregon. So I think it's been really important what we're doing, and we're looking forward to continuing that further.
And without any further ado, guess who's here? Eric Dresselhuys, the CEO of ESS Inc. GWH is their stock symbol. Eric, fantastic stuff there. I'm going to let you just take it away here for a minute. And,
Wow.
It's great to see, for your facility. It's great to see that you've got such support from such dignitaries. But it really is interesting how that one piece of legislation really moved the needle for you guys.
Yeah, I tell you, it's this whole week has been celebrate the IRA, and having Senator Wyden here, who, for folks who maybe don't know him, he's not just one of the senators here in Oregon, but
he wrote it, didn't he?
He wrote the bill.
Yeah.
Right. He's the chair of Senate Finance. So if you're looking at who moves the needle in Washington, he's certainly one of the guys. And the Clean Energy for America Act, which is what became what we now know as the energy provisions in the IRA, is a really thoughtful bill that really does change the game for how companies like ESS can compete on a global basis. And I would tell you that we announced a project with a big utility called LEAG in Germany, which is really all about fighting kind of the impact of Russian oil in Europe. And that project doesn't happen without the IRA. So it's a needle mover. It's a giant 500 megawatt hour battery for us, and it's a real needle mover for the industry.
Eric, for those people who haven't heard you before, because obviously we're picking up a bigger audience with the Bloomberg and so on and so forth, talk to us about exactly what long duration energy storage really looks like. As an end user and client base as well for you guys.
Yeah. Well, what it hopefully looks like for consumers is that you've got the reliable, dependable energy system that we're all used to, flipping the switch and the lights come on, and that happens with the same reliability that we've had from the grid originally, but we're going to do it now with clean energy, with wind and solar, and other non-carbon emitting solutions. But I think people probably all appreciate that, the sun sets every day and the wind blows a lot sometimes and not so much other times. And so you need to have some mechanism to levelize or stabilize the energy supply. And that's where long duration storage comes in. We're storing energy for much longer periods than traditional technologies do, so that the grid operators can make the system reliable 24 hours a day. And so we sell to utilities, we sell to independent power producers, and even large commercial and industrial customers, people who are in, and it's appropriate this week, I just keep hearing more and more about power outages all over the country due to the heat wave that's hitting folks. And you've got to have some way to build resiliency into the system, and that's what we do.
Hey, Eric, because of that, we have a little short on time today because of the video, but I've wanted to ask you this for a number of weeks, and obviously want to continue to hear the story with you folks. What's next for you guys as a company in terms of strategic goals for this, what you're calling an energy transition?
Well, we think that really scaling is the name of the game right now. This is about this business, like a lot of businesses, and certainly things in the infrastructure space, are all about getting to scale, because your economics get better, profitability for the company gets better, and the impact that we have for the grid and for the environment gets better. So as we go through the balance of this year and really into 24, the name of the game for us is expanding operations, doing things faster and bigger and more everywhere across our operations.
Eric, as usual, so great to have you. Sorry we didn't have a lot of time with you, but I thought it was really important to play the entirety of that video. And we'll put that up on our website at bigbizshow.com. I will also put it up at Sully Speaks Money to our 100,000 followers. You can also go to ESSinc.com. Eric, thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for having me, Sully.
More Big Biz. Loft 100 Studios, The Big Biz Show, and our affiliates and our hosts are not registered investment advisors or broker-dealers.
Our show hosts make no commitment that the purchase of securities of companies profiled or otherwise mentioned in our programming
are suitable or advisable for any person, or that an investment in such securities will be profitable in general.
Given the nature of the company's profile and the lack of an active trading market for the securities, investing is highly speculative and carries a certain high degree of risk.
We profile selected publicly traded and privately held companies on our program. Most of these companies that we profile have provided compensation to Loft 100 Studios and its hosts for the profile coverage.
From time to time, we sell shares of the companies profiled in the open market that we receive as compensation for coverage of client companies.
But never sell stocks if we are speaking about interviewing or covering a public company who has paid compensation.
Specific questions on compensation can be obtained by contacting producer at sullyandgroup.com.
Listeners should verify all claims and do their own due diligence before investing in any securities mentioned on this program.
Investing in securities is speculative and carries a high degree of risk.
We encourage our investors to invest carefully and read the investor information available at the websites on the
Securities and Exchange Commission at sec.gov and or the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, FINRA, at www.finra.org.